Welcome back for learning. In previous video we saw about
fundamentals of computer. So today we are going to see about a computer organization, that is your third chapter. Okay, so this is the part 1 session. So in this chapter we are going to deal with computer organization. So how internally, what are all the things support to execute your programs. Okay, so to execute your computer, like that, what are all the parts, how the internal architecture of your computer system will be. So that is the thing we are going to deal with this today's class. So computer organization, it deals with hardware component of your computer. So it includes your input output devices, CPU, central processing unit, then storages, what is your primary storage, secondary storage, then what is the organization of your computer, what is the architectural design of computer, like that everything we are going to learn from this chapter 3. Okay, so learning objectives of this chapter. After learning this chapter, what are the things you can come to know? No, first thing is you come to know about the organization of computer component and their interconnections. Next, to know the processor and their characteristics. Next, what is the importance of memory device and the roles in the computer. To explore what is RAM, ROM, and differentiate between them, that is random access memory, read only memory, and so on. So to know about the cache memory and how it improves the performance of your computer, that one we are going to learn. And what are the secondary devices to be used in your computer, and how the port and interfaces or external device to be connected for using your computer. So these are all the learning objectives of chapter 3. Okay, so synopsis of today's classes, we are going to study about the introduction of computer organization, what is the basics of microprocessor, then data communication exists between your central processing unit and your memory device. Next, type of your microprocessor, what are the various types of microprocessor we are using in your system. Okay, so these are all the learning objectives of today's class. So first we will see about what is computer organization. So before this you have to know what are the hardwares. Okay, what are the hardware and what are the devices to be used in your computer. Okay, so that is the part you have to know from your computer organization, as well as various components to operate your hardware. So first you have to find what is computer organization. So it deals with your components of your system. So hardware component of your computer system, that is called as hardware. It includes your input, output, central processing unit, storage, and memory devices. So these are all the input devices: keyboard, mouse, joystick, and all. Similarly, for output devices, monitor, printer, speaker, and this one is your microprocessor. So hardware will compare all the things: floppy disk, hard disk, memory card. These are all the storage part. Okay, these are all the storage part. So altogether we will say this one as computer organization. So we have to check what are the various components of your computer hardware to operate, how it operate. So it will be get operated using your processor. Okay, that is microprocessor. This thing we saw already. Where can you able to remember? Yes, in generation of computer used to come across this microprocessor chip. Okay, so it deals with how they are interconnected and what is the architectural specification. Okay, what is the architectural specification of implementing this. So that is the part of your computer organization. Okay, so in this lesson, this part, especially this part, what is microprocessor, memory device, what are the ports and interface to be used for building your computer organization. That is the thing we are going to learn from your chapter 3. Okay, so the first thing is we will see about what is microprocessor, what is the basics of microprocessor. So microprocessor, no, it is a major component of your computer. So this is your microprocessor. So this microprocessor is the major component of your computer which performs all the tasks. So what are the tasks? No, it should be represented by using IC. So microprocessor means it is integrated circuit. Based upon that integrated circuit, you are going to make your connections. So these are all the connection part. What are the ports you are using in your system? So that and all comes under the topics of ports and interfaces. Okay. So altogether all this comprises your computer organization. Next we are going to see about what is microprocessor. So this microprocessor is your integrated circuit, and it was introduced in the year of 1970s, and it is the heart of your computer. We will say no, CPU is the brain of your computer, right? Similarly, microprocessor is the heart of your computer. So CPU, central processing unit, means brain of your computer. Here it will have silicon chips inside this. Microprocessor will have silicon chips. That should be a programmable multi-purpose silicon chip, as well as it is driven by your clock pulse. Clock pulse means it is signaling. Okay, analog, digital, like that. It will have a variation based upon the time. That is called as clock pulse. And what are all the inputs you are giving to your system? No, all the things it should be taken as your binary coding. What is the representation of this binary data? All the input it will accept as no. Everything should be zeros and one. That is your machine language part. Then it process the data based upon the language, based upon your querying. It uses an interface called OS, that is your operating system. Based upon your coding part of your operating system, all the machine languages get converted into readable form for displaying in your output. So OS plays a vital role. It acts as an interface between the user and your system. Okay, so various operating system we know. What are those? Windows, Opera, Windows, Vista. These are all the various operating system, right? Okay. So it provides output data as per the instructions stored in the memory. So it accesses the input as a binary, as well as convert the things based upon the instruction you are providing. With the supporting of your operating system, it will execute and provide the output. The data should be stored in your memory. That should be main memory, secondary and cache memory. Okay, so next part is we are going to study about what are the microprocessor based system, how the input will get accessed into your microprocessor, and how it driven the output, and how it should be stored in your memory part. So CPU is the major component of your computer which perform all the tasks. It is realized by your microprocessor IC. Okay, so from this part you are going to execute your input and process the data and produce your output. I already told you this microprocessor was first introduced in the year of 1917s. It is the year your fourth generation arrived. So 1971 to 80 is your fourth generation of your computer. In that case, we used VLSI, that is very large scale integrated circuit. Intel and all developed. This company Intel chips and all. That and all developed in this fourth generation of your computer alone. This is the IC C4004. Was developed by Intel. Okay. Next, this is the block diagram of executing your microprocessor. So first thing you have to give input to your microprocessor. It will fetch the data from the memory whether it is required for processing. Similarly, it will store the data to your memory again, then produce the output to the user. So this is the execution of your microprocessor based system. Next, we are going to see about what are the main units. What are the main units that should become inside this microprocessor? So, this microprocessors contain ALU. Okay, so arithmetic and logical unit. In this chip, it will be embedded with all the controls. This ALU, registers, then control unit. So, ALU is used to perform arithmetic and logical, register for storing, and control unit overall operation of a computer is controlled through your signals. Okay, these are all the three main units in your microprocessor: ALU, control unit, and register. Let us see what is the ALU. ALU, it performs the arithmetic operation and logical instruction based on your computer. So it will contain flags and register for storing your data. So arithmetic instruction means all your arithmetic operations, okay, as well as logical and or XOR, compare, component, everything should be stored in your ALU unit. Then coming to decision part, if you want to take any decision making condition, comparing the one or two numbers like that, you will compare and check, that also deals with this ALU part of your integrated chip. So here the system bus is a bunch of wire which is the collection of your address bus, data bus, and control bus that serves as a communication channel between your microprocessor and other devices. Okay, so this is the part how your microprocessor based system work. Now coming to the control unit, it controls the overall operation. Here you will have IR, instruction register, that controls the operations as well as stored in your register, internal memory of your computer. This register is all to hold the instruction and data for the execution of the process. When the processor get availed to execute means the thing that is stored in your register will come for execution. So register will hold the instructions and data for execution. Okay. Next, we'll see about the characteristics. What is the characteristics of your microprocessor? So in microprocessor, it performs the task based upon clock speed, instruction set, and word size. What is clock speed? So clock speed means every microprocessor has an internal clock inside it. That clock regulates the speed, okay, at which it executes the instruction. So based upon the instruction execution, it regulates the speed. It should be vary for all the core, that is your Intel processor, several version, i3, i7, i5, core, i9, these are all the versions of your Intel. So inside this you will have your clock. Based upon the timing, clock execution time, the speed is measured in microhertz or gigahertz. Okay, that is the speed measuring part of your clock. Next, coming to the instruction set, that is the second step in your characteristics of microprocessor. You will have set of instruction. That instruction no, which gives computer to perform an operation on data. So that is called as instruction. The command, what are all the command should be given. It is called as instruction. Similarly, in clock speed, no, it should be measured in terms of megahertz or gigahertz. That is the variation range. Okay. Now coming to this instruction set part, it's a machine level instruction and the microprocessor is designed to execute. It is called as instruction state. It will have several types of operators. Normal instruction, then compressed, special instruction, reserved instruction. You will have several categories of executing your instruction set, that all the codings should be embedded and execute in machine language. What is your machine language? It is your binary language. So everything should be stored here as zeros and ones. Okay. So under this you will have to carry this instruction set no, with various types of operator that also get vary based upon the various generation and execution part. You will have datas, data transfer, arithmetic operations, then logical operations, control flow, then input and output operation. These are all the various instruction set operation to be carried out by your microprocessor. Okay. Next we will see about what is word size. It is the third part of your characteristics, word size. So the number of bit that can be processed by a processor in a single instruction, that is called word size. So at particular one instruction, how many number of bits is used to process the data. So that is called as word size. So word size determines the amount of RAM that can be accessed by your microprocessor at one time, as well as total number of pins in your microprocessor. Okay, this total number of input and output pins in turn determine the architecture of your microprocessor. So in microprocessor you will have pins. This pin is the collection of your bytes, how many instructions to be stored. Okay, so this pin size and the number of pins get vary based upon the models of your microprocessor chip. That should be specified for how much single instruction of your process get involved. Okay, how many number of bits get involved to execute particular process. Based upon that, the pin size get vary. Then a storage part, we will use this random access memory, RAM. This is the RAM for storing. Okay, so this is for storing your data inside your system, this RAM. Then we will see about how to execute, how the execution part of your program should be run based upon this various specification that should be determined by your microprocessor. Okay, next we'll see about, this is the thing we saw, what are the characteristics One is based upon clock speed. Okay, so under that you will have hertz. This is the measuring unit of your clock, hertz, as well as the frequency of its. Hertz is denoted by Hz, 1 cycle in 1 second. Similarly, you may have sound detection varies from 20 to 20,000 hertz. So if it is 20 hertz means you will have a low pitch, that is called as bass frequency. If it is 20 hertz, okay, so it is very less volume to hear, so that you will come to this bass frequency value of this. And if your value is more, then the sound waves, no, that is above 5,000, it should be above 5,000 means it should be called as treble, treble. If it is more sound, like whistle, we are whistling, no, that time more sound, high pitch of volume will come, that is called as treble. So the CPU clock speed, no, it is used to measure the speed of your computer processor. So that is the main use of your CPU clock speed. Next, for example, if CPU is rated at a specific clock speed means what will happen? It will calculate and store all the data based upon the speed of your clock. Okay. So next we saw about instruction set. So the command which is given to your computer to perform an operation on data, that is called as instruction. Under that we will have 5 types: data transfers, arithmetic, logical, control, and input and output.
Now we came to the end of this session. We will meet soon in the next video. Thank you.